Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Awesome Lobby 1. We've had 2 excellent games so far, and we have 2 more to go. I'm Lee Diamond Smith, and joining me is WTF Moses. And Moses, we have the scoreboards coming in, and, well, a little bit of a surprise, I would say. TSM are dominating today in the first 2 games.
Absolutely. They've had 2 very nice games back-to-back, executing a well-placed win in the last game, and that second place with a high kill count in game number 1 has done them wonders. And really, that's been the story so far is TSM executing at a very high level. And for now, it's up to the rest of the lobby to try and get in line, as we've seen a lot of ups and downs from the rest of some teams that are known for better consistency. FaZe having a very tough game number 2 after winning game number 1. So yeah, it's really about TSM right now, and they've been playing very well.
Yeah, and we were talking obviously earlier on about the likes of Digital Chaos, who did very well on Friday in Stream Me. They're down in 12th. Remember the position they had in game number 1 on that beachhead house? It was theirs to play into, and they just weren't getting the kills. They didn't really have a chance to, because everybody was either plumbing for the water or the fight was happening the other side of the bridge. So didn't work out for them. The Knights, well, they always go down in a blaze of glory, don't they? They're middle table at the moment in 8th place with the 10 kills, but they were just caught from fight to fight to fight last game.
Absolutely, and really the Knights getting caught out by LFO was a tough break after executing a nice couple of team fights there. Same thing, Digital Chaos in a nice position at the edge of the zone, but just waited a little bit too long and really got their position taken away from them. But overall, it's been an interesting kind of situation. Game number 2 saw a lot of early and mid-game action. That's something that we're used to seeing. So we'll see how this playing path in game number 3 pans out. So far, it's been a very interesting day of games.
It's not a bad plane. I think everybody's going to be relatively happy, unless anyone wants to go up to Severny. There was a team up in Severny last game. I'm struggling. I think it's one that's been going up there, hasn't it? Due to the fact that Millennium are taking their ruins in Watertown. Yeah, well, Millennium doing the same thing again. Let's have a look. Looks like it is going to be one going to head off to Severny. Surprised me, okay? Yasnai has been open 2 games running. Nobody's sort of popped a quick look at the replays to have a quick look at the VODs and figures to think out. LFO have gone down to Primorsk and spread themselves out. So I think everybody's kind of settled on positions. Zook Nam are maybe going to change things up, along with Alliance. They're not going Novo. They're going back to Hospital. It's their original stomping grounds, and it could cause problems.
So Alliance looking to shift things a little bit here. And now, actually, I'm just watching the Knights looking to be dropping very close to where FaZe was landing as well. It looks like Simsy is going to be sharing a landing zone with Fausto. Simsy looking to beat him there to that vehicle spawn. So that's going to be an easy pickup there. Fausto's got to be careful. He's in the garage, and Simsy's going to back it off. Not wanting to get too aggro there with the Dacia. So off he'll go. Fausto missing out on the car spawn. DC split out around Razak. But now it looks like Penta has... Looks like they've taken over the school and the apartments as well. So they found a bit of a loot zone here. Knights taking the prison, and it's going to be still Millennium pressuring, or at least nearby, to Ultra.
So this is Penta changing drop position every game. Now they basically where Millennium have been in this the last 2 games. They probably won't be ready. They have seen the fact that obviously Lux were in there. They would have seen him dropping down at the same time. So a little surprise bit. And just a quick update, Exalt actually in Yasnai. So finally someone's gone into Yasnai, realizing it's been open this entire time.
Oh, yeah.
You look at that circle. Look at the circle. It's going straight that way. So it's a northern circle. The likes of Severny obviously going to be prime territory now that where they've won. Zeko realizing... Sezko, I should say. I keep calling him Zeko. Zeko the footballer, but there's a UMP. Could be happy with that.
So this is what we've seen from old Penta, and I mean, it's old Penta is kind of funny because it's only been, I think, a few months since they've changed their roster a little bit. But this Razak school apartment area is where they've held and have had success in the past. So this is something that I think should be somewhat familiar to them. But for now, I'm not sure exactly what's been preventing them from coming to this area. Maybe just other teams landing around them. But they do have some decent loot spots held. Alliance in the hospital, and that southern Georgia area has a lot of teams lurking around in there.
Meats is rotating very early. He's already leaving out for Alliance. They've had some problems with rotations, and maybe that's why they chose not to go Novo this time around. It was not really a viable option for them circle-wise. Plane-wise either. The plane went very much cutting across from sort of the lower left area across Gatka up towards the north of Yasnaya. So it's certainly gone that way. Sims blasts through. He's coming in to help his teammate. He's going to go and try and circle the back of Sesko. Is he going to stick around? Yes, he is. Look across the side. Here comes another. So they got support coming in numbers now. So Sesko is already being pinched.
So for Sesko, he's now trapped, essentially. They've caught him out, and now Simsy and Tamil are going to press right on top of him. Ultra holding the wide angle. Sesko holding now between two buildings, getting information fed is Simsy, and actually crossing right in front of him. Maybe Ultra did not spot him, but now Tamil will, and Simsy will finish it off. Oh, actually, Tamil does finish that off, so that is going to be Sesko going down. Millennium taking the first casualty of this game, and that is going to be that for them. So it looks like Penta has essentially cleared out their looting zone, Millennium having to back off, and looks like Meter has made it through all right to scout. Early transitions may be coming out here, D-Man.
Crates coming down, the organ play. That's over towards the east side of the school. I don't think anybody will find that really on the route. I'm trying to think of anyone that we're going to possibly go through that route. Maybe Method will do. I'm trying to think of the rotations. Method actually fairly late in the rotation. Now looks like Andy's off. Millennium already heading north as well. We saw Meter going off very early on. And now you'll see a lot of teams, certainly for this sort of circle, rotating pretty damn early on. You can see it's still 2 minutes to go before the circle even begins to shrink, but they're already starting to find the ground. But that's because there is just limited amounts of space. Uncharged going up. Is he going to sit around the compound? Is he going to go for the warehouse on the hill? Looks like he may be going off that direction. Zuktek now, they're trying to find themselves a place. If he's not careful, he's going to go straight into Mikaz, who's in that UAZ, found himself the UAZ. He's just going to blast past. They're not going to engage.
Yeah, opting now just to kind of stabilize. They got that Severity area locked down. Millennium coming up around the shooting range. And these early transitioning teams have a lot of time and space, not too much pressure around the map just yet. Zokta Nam having finished their Georgia Pole crate loot, looking to try and move as well. And that's actually VZ going down for Alliance.
Yeah. Another rotation, right? Another rotation woes.
Yeah, it's we've seen this happen to other teams in the past where the rotations just become such a nightmare. Meter having gone out to scout, leaving VZ and the rest of his squad behind. I don't know if it's a communication issue. Really, it's too bad. This is a very talented team. I mean, it's just too bad.
The problem is, like, Meter, with the path that VZ was taking there is the exact one that Meter took, and he got through without being shot at once. So now we're seeing obviously the cause and effect here with Sigsy and Fever basically going around the bottom south side of Everest, and actually, well, running the risk of going into FC Expo, but they're pretty much spread out. They're just in loot territory at the moment, so Alliance should be able to get through here fine. But this is a really, I mean, look at the route it's going to take, right, from hospital. You're not going to go over the bridge. Actually, I say now, Buddha's going over that bridge right now. So, okay, 2 is going to take shots onto Fever with his TP. Can do a lot of damage. That 7.62 ammo. Kaz got a heck of a punch on it. Oh, hello. Andy's coming in. Broder's already got himself set up at the bridge, and Method are coming in towards him.
Wow, Bruder does have a nice angle here, and actually Andy taking a bit of a tumble there. Wow, so it looks like he's going to have to jump out. He's going to finish Andy, so that's going to be a quick down and kill there. Chris jumping in the back, having to pop the tires, as it looks like Bruder trying to hold that low angle, does take some damage, and that will be another knock. Erky finishing him off from a different angle. So that's a nice little bridge hold there for Bruder and Erky, and the rest is Zokdim Nam. Coming in now behind, Chris is basically out of this game as well, and Method has to completely break off and find another route into the play zone.
Nothing worse than coming round. You've just made a mistake, like spinning the car, and there's a camp right there. It's just like, wow, really, this is my life. This is how it works out. Raz has picked off Risk Nest. Now, obviously, that was one. They got themselves rotated in pretty early on towards the north, so Risk Nest, the scout, has been picked off there. Here comes Alliance. Meter is down, but Sigsy is arriving to get himself the revive there. Millennium getting themselves in that compound early on, so he should be fine. Sigsy blasting in. The rest of his teammates should be joining him shortly. Looks like the gas station over the river is held by Exalt. They went into Yasnaya, remember, so they've just come across there. The Nikes now slowly rotating out. They've gone in towards the hillside. The Penta obviously were in and around the apartments, the school, etc. They've sort of just migrated a little bit east. Here comes Fever to join the rest of Sigsy and Meter. And he's taking just about the safest route he can find, which should be safe for him there.
So we were talking a little bit a while ago about, scouting rotations, alliances, issues with that. There has been many teams who have kind of gone away from that very scout heavy early game where sending with the 16 team the 16 team meta kind of evolving, the scout need has kind of dwindled, and you see teams like FaZe, TSM has, I think, moved away from that as well to an extent. They all transition together. FaZe doesn't send out scouts. They move as a team. And really, if you can take a compound or if you get caught out by yourself, that's not something you can really handle on your own if some team comes to press you afterwards. So for Alliance, maybe moving away from the scout tactic will be beneficial. As you mentioned, Meter was able to get through easily because it was so early in the game. The scout is able to get through, says the path is clear, but then that changes in that time, and then his teammates get caught out. So that scout tactic maybe needs to shift for Alliance, and that's just a humble caster talking about that. So maybe it goes beyond that. But regardless, you've seen many of the successful teams opt to stop going for that scout strategy. You can see FaZe moving on the right side as a squad.
Yeah, and well, I mean, you do see MT go down often early on as that scout. We'll see. I mean, this is a standard rotation for FaZe, right? This is the thing. Like, there are FaZe paths, I could say, safe paths that FaZe will take all the time. This is one of them. Now, sure, a team could set up a camp for them, knowing that this is pretty much the route they take every single time.
Stolber.
This northern circle comes in, they will go along this edge, past Lipovka, late past Stolber, and maybe cuts across. I would expect they'll actually go around the back of Stolber as well. So it'll be a really late run, and they'll come in actually where one are. I think they're probably coming in and around there somewhere. It depends, because the circle, by the time they get around there, the circle will be shifting to number 2. So they'll be already in a position, still in the vehicles, effectively, just to move straight into circle 2 rather than basically ignore circle 1. Vitality do the similar thing, and that's the similar path that Vitality taken. They're coming in this side because they obviously, one's a Milta, one's a Milta Power. They're both very late rotations, but both these teams never have really those big problems. There's big rotation problems. So you need to be maybe looking at these teams that have been consistently successful and thinking, okay, what paths are they taking? Should we try and do similar? Obviously, you can't go across, say, if you're Rogue, you can't go across via Milta and Milta Power and then go north. But you could still easily sort of find a route to effectively find that way. Sure, it's going to be a really long-ass route, and it's probably not, pleasant to do. But if it's safe, it's worth it.
Well, that's the key. And really, regardless of how you execute your rotation, finding that safe path is ultimately the primary goal. And I think for any team looking to make their rotation smoother, finding that regular path you might take, or finding the way you decide to move that works for you is really the key. And for teams like FaZe, they've established that. Vitality as well, coming in a little bit late, and even TSM has been executing that as well. They do come in often late to the zone for opting for a prolonged looting phase, but that gives them an advantage of coming on the edge, kind of scouting out what's happening, and then going from there. But that puts you to an extent at the mercy of the play zone. But then it's up to you to execute as a squad, move as a team, and really use that skill that all of these guys have to find the foothold in the next zone, wherever that might be.
Look at that. FaZe come in just in towards the top of Stauber. Circle goes their way. They're in prime position. They're going to set up a little vehicle compound on the hillside, and they should be relatively safe. They may even scout out where Mister is in that compound. Looks like that's what Yempty's going on a little peek at. The interesting thing here, though, is Vitality are actually taking a similar route. So Vitality will be coming in behind the back of FaZe in around about a minute's time. So we have to keep our eyes on that. The rest of the teams, I can see Alliance on the blast. So the rest of the teams started to try and find some sort of ground. Looks like FaZe are going to settle for a vehicle compound up in the hillsides. Looks like that's where they want to go for. The Knights also up in Stalber, actually. At the moment, shot from Larry finds Lux.
Wow, so just clotheslines him off his motorcycle. Simsy moving past as well, so that's going to be a pickup. Lux going down to Meal in tow, a little bit further behind, having to bank off away, and now he's going to come into, looks a little bit more fire there. And look at this, Longo is now, and looks like the rest of LFO has taken away FaZe's gas station has been occupied. They must be very perturbed with this. This is a classic spot that FaZe holds, and looks like it's been held already as LFO has picked it up. So that's maybe why FaZe has opted not to move too far in, having scouted a little earlier, but we didn't get that vision yet. But that's interesting spot there. Mista holding against Tamil, puffing himself up, making himself strong. Get away from my compound, says Mista.
Here comes Vitality. They're coming in late. Penta trying to get themselves a position. I wonder where Vitality are going to choose to go here. If it's going to, it will be Hills. I just wonder whether they're going to stumble upon FaZe, who've got themselves posted up on that little brow of the hill. They themselves have Exalt Gaming creeping up behind them, and they're going to be on the higher ground than FaZe, so they're going to be kind of above them there. And yeah, here comes Vitality. So if Vitality obviously going to be making a lot of noise with the vehicles coming in, they're going to have their attention drawn, and it's going to give Exalt the chance to push this way. They're coming straight above them, so FaZe do find themselves. This is like in the little wooden shacks, isn't it? That's down there, I think.
Yeah. So that's a nice little hole. They have a bit of a plane that they can hang on to there. Breaksco and the rest of Exalt have come up behind them. FaZe is normally pretty good at managing their vision, and it looks like Hax is going to take the initial barrage, and they are not able to get it down, so no advantage right now. And now FaZe is well aware of Exalt, and we'll see how they manage this engagement in the low ground as Chronax comes up and takes a nice rock position. The nades are within range now.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Those compounds don't really block bullets either. That's the thing. So,
no.
you know, if they still know if you try and tuck in, they can still light up the walls. And the wall bang is certainly doable on those sort of little wooden compounds that doesn't offer a great deal of protection. It's not like your standard shack, so you can't just duck behind it. So FaZe in a bit of a problem, because obviously we know Vitality are in the distance. If they keep hearing these shots, they might get drawn across towards it to see exactly what's going on. They've posted themselves to the northern side. Penta, Tommy on his own at the moment still. Looks like the rest of Penta guys have been picked off in the rotations, it seems. Rogue coming in very late, actually, right next to FC Espo. And they are certainly showing a bit of an interest towards Rogue's position as they get themselves on the rocks. Seems they're going to sit on the edge of the circle, though. Vis has been down. Where is TSM? Oh, they're coming in way late. This time, unfortunately, they are coming in across open ground.
Yeah, so it looks like they've had, I'm not sure if they intended to stop. We didn't see what exactly happened here, but it looks like they did come to a brief hold here on the edge of the zone. Break and Vis now together with Rari and Smack a little bit behind. So they're going to have to rotate a little bit further north to get away from DC. Losing one early here is TSM. Losing Vis is not a great start, but they do have a shorter transition into the next circle. So maybe reform here and try and get into the next play zone. But where they're coming in is very open, and there's not a lot of compounds there to hold. Very little. There is a warehouse to the north, but that's a long rotation. So
Yeah,
we'll
that's what TSM may be aiming for now. They're coming up there. Basically, you can see these little white dots. They're little shacks. That's where everybody's kind of aiming for now. Anyone who's got a vehicle is going to be blasting for those little shacks. Try and get themselves in there. Sigsy being picked off. So that's Alliance that have had 2 picked off the fast bike. That's just unfortunate. Actually, it's Raz again. Larry did the last one. So one have done it twice. There's an M24 in there with suppressor. That is nice, Yannick.
Yeah, that's a nice change, actually, that came over the most recent patch as well, as like the proper attachment spawning with the weapons in the crates. They said many patches ago that was going to happen, but it's only been with this most recent one where suppressors are spawning with the M24. For all the public players out there, it's been a nice change. But for these guys, regardless of what's on the end of the M24, it is a nice pickup. So, yeah, like you mentioned, it's Alliance getting picked off in vehicles is I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if that was Sigsy or VZ or whoever that was, or Feverish who were picked off there. But where was he going? Why are you scouting now at this late stage of the game where you know there's going to be lots of
the little white shacks? He was trying to bomb into one of those little white shacks in the center. Just by yourself. I mean, there's still 16 teams alive. This is like deadly territory right now. Vitality, we said they were going to get pushed and slowly squeeze up. It's actually someone that's come up behind them. So they're getting pushed by the guys from Noxious. Kavorka trying to do damage, but Chiv's on a dangerous flank here. You make it around the sides of him. Kavorka peeks, he gets the rock stage down. He can try and finish it off, he will. Shiv was on the rotate. The problem is because he went so low and they wasn't expecting the push from Kavorka, it's put him out of position.
Yeah, Shiv went for that low side flank, but just wasn't quite fast enough to support his teammate. And Shiv is still coming down this hill, putting himself wide open out of cover now, looking for Kavorka. He does spot him out, and just barely misses getting the down. Kavorka now turning back to see who's firing. So it is Vitality still staying strong. Kavorka looks like the last man standing. So Vitality did take a casualty there, but it looks like Noxious has taken the worst of it. And Shiv is still rotating down the hill, looking for that flank.
Rock stays down. Look at Shadow. It's a one above, one below. In unison, they're coming around. This is what they were trying to execute, but Kavorka's aggression actually is the thing that basically kept him alive for a brief moment. But now the fact he's lying prone, he will be a sitting duck, and they will be the first team to go down. So, we're seeing the M24 coming into action. I just saw Bruder taking Rory down. So TSM once again in the firing line, it seems. Break has returned fire, but he goes down as well. Digital Chaos. And then, meanwhile, we're seeing Rogue here getting straight onto SFC Eastbow. Ewan, just about comes out on top. That was very tight.
Wow. So Ewan actually, with ours, just barely missed each other there. And really, that was a nice play. That was a very easy down for ours if he had just pressed over a little bit further. But Ewan holding strong, and Rogue, I think, cleaned up that entire team.
Yeah,
so that was a nice pickup for them. But the Knights, having heard that, now looking down on them, they have that high ground position in the new zone. So Rogue has some time and space, but there's now less and less of that to go around as Tamil now watching Vitality run around in front of him.
Tommy, just wait there for Penta, the last man standing for them. I think I saw Smack was the last man standing for TSM as well. I believe they were down to one. I know where they're going to get their down opponent back up. Tommy just coming in late on this circle. It's not going to do too much damage. That's only the second pinch. Third circle pops. Looks like it's actually took a big swing down to the south, judging by the fact we can't even see it on the minimap. Monkey might get shot at. Tommy's kind of fancying this one. It's not a bad circle. It's gone fairly central. Phaser on the move. Looks like Tommy's going to try and go on the move here and just creep up and follow Vitality in.
Yeah, we've seen this actually from Vitality in the past. I can't remember if it was Monkey in Kiev or in the last tournament I was casting that he kind of crawled in behind everybody. Looks like Break and Smack are still up. Well, I say that as Break goes down. Smack now having to defend. I believe that's his DC again. They are tangling up again. Yeah.
You got Yoki's down. It's down to a one-on-one between Fausto and Smack. That nade comes down. That obliterates Break. Smack now.
Tamil.
I don't know. This is like shutting the door and basically trying to fight it. I'm not too sure we're really the best course of action. Digital Chaos are, of course, are 3 members. So if he goes out the door, you can see Avian in the distance there. Look at that. At the UAC, he has himself an angle, and Smack just spotted it.
Yeah, Smack saw him too. So DC opting just go for the reses here, try and stay strong, not wanting to take any risks. Looks like they will get the res onto Fausto. Yoki's up in the smoke. Amian holding the long angle, but he's got to be mindful of other teams as well because he's relatively exposed. Smack is hemmed in that compound, not quite in the zone. DC will have to move eventually, but Smack and the rest of TSM hoping for a bit of a break here, but it does not look like they're going to get it.
So let's have a look. While these guys are trying to creep in on Smack, let's have a quick glimpse at the map to see the lay of the land, because there was a lot of rotations that were happening there. Actually, let's just wait until Smack, because he's getting pushed. Yoki's is going for this one. He's going for it. Smack's. Well, this would be the worst finish for TSM today. Smack's going to go for it. Goes for an open peak. Swings around the door. Gets blown to bits. He's going to try and get around the backside. Now he's got a bit of cover. He's in an okay position. Can go for the peak, but Fausto will get him down. The double swing peak from Digital Chaos worked perfectly there. And TSM go down in 14th place today. Vitality have the Knights right on top of them.
Yeah, it looks like the Knights have moved in, and Vitality having taken a casualty. Tamil did take down Monkey and finish him off. So now it's Shadow and Shiv holding on a very low ground position against the Knights, who are split, but having a nice angle on all of the surrounding area. This is where we saw FaZe holding on to earlier. So this is
look at the pincer setup. Look, Ladre and Vox in the hills with the Overwatch position, while Survivor and Kramer come down with the close combat. Really nice setup. Vitality, of course, down in numbers, only got the 2 alive still. So still holding the ground very well here. Knights being very respectful not to just charge straight in. They know that this is a dangerous position, probably because they actually only know the position of 2. They're just wondering where the other guys are. But now there's somebody else getting involved. Survivor's coming around the side. It's a full flank maneuver coming in. Shift basically sitting in a cloud of smoke. on a wall. There's an absolute ton of it there. Shadow did get taken down. Tommy still sneaking in. Oh, he's been spotted by Dre. He was trying to be the sneaky third member of Vitality. It just didn't work out for him.
I think Shiv is just throwing all of his utility at his feet, you know, maintaining the smoke cloud. Kramer actually ran right on top of him, and I think he's just buying himself some time here. So he's just throwing whatever he's got at his feet. And now for Shiv, maybe not sure if he wants to.
Is that bug still in that you can look through the smoke and the blue?
Oh, he's actually waited just long enough. Wow.
Got one
Was
down
that
with him.
Kramer?
Yeah, he got one down. He did this. Did he do a 360 no scope there spin?
It kind of looked like that. Yeah.
Yeah, looked like it. Okay, Exalt in the circle. They've got the shacks, the only two shacks that are in the circle, outside of course, Zoot and Nam that are inside there. FaZe need to move. Now the question is there anything left of the vehicles? Because they went and committed to this shack, and I got a feeling most of their tires probably are down. Plus they've really not got anywhere to go. Knight's actually in a very nice position because they have this hillside ledge. They are on their own over on that side. Obviously they've had to fight for it, but look, everybody else is over on the east and the south. So everybody's going to be creeping into this very small compound space, whereas the Knights on this hill ledge can just slowly come down. I'm pretty sure if we to look at the terrain around there, they've got a really nice bit of cover. There's a decent tree cover for them to just work their way down, where everybody else is kind of in this horrific space. Larry and Co. Oh, they're going to move. Yeah, look, there you go. Yeah, so okay. No, the ledge is not in. They're going to have to go left or right. Left side of the hills.
This is a tough spot for them. Like the left side is the only one that still has cover, so they will be able to get in. But then they're on this kind of downward slope that really leaves them exposed. So we'll see how they manage that as Stab, last man standing, looks like. Ooh, does take one down. THD going down now. Yuki juking, and he will go down as well. So Stab doing damage all by himself out in this field, looking to maybe just pick up a couple of kill points for his team. Now, it looks like Hax and the rest of FaZe have tried to transition, and they're getting lots of pressure. Single Raid firing onto FaZe, and they are getting absolutely eviscerated. FaZe only, looks like only two, maybe one left. Yeah, only Fuzzface was able to get in, but that is Cup of Magic finishing him off. So that is going to be Exalt Gaming finishing off FaZe on the transition. And that was very difficult to come down that hill. Very little option for them. And FaZe goes down in 10th place.
Is it? I don't know. It's one of those awkward moments, right? Because it was an early rotate, which means there's a lot of people still in position looking. A lot of targets effectively looking at you, or guns, whatever you want to prefer to call it. Mita's still alive for Alliance. He's creeping up behind Fuffins. Rogue got themselves that vehicle compound. There's no tires on their wagons anymore, so can't really do a great deal. Mita, just got that little bit of hill that's covering him from Fuffin's angle there, so he's just going to keep on crawling in. Rogue are inside the circle, so he only needs to get a little bit closer. Stab also for Method. He's doing the same. Little creepy straight in there. Remember, in the hillside over to the side, that's where the Knights are. You've got Zukdek Nam in the compound in the distance, so that they are down in there. And Exalt are in that little shack just in front of them. They've actually got a really nice spot, I think, Exalt. They've got the 2-2 split and the two shacks. I think they're in a good spot because no matter whether the circle goes north or south, they're kind of inside it, and they're both inside it. Exalt really have a good spot right now.
Yeah, Exalt having split and then held. So they got these two little shacks to themselves. DC kind of jockeying at the top, and now it's all about actually Stab going down as well. The Knights having to try and, stay strong here. They do have Rogue pressing on top of them. Rogue getting very aggressive. No helmet on Jazza. Try to get it there with Fuffins. Looking for some movement. I think they can see Drayden, so now the nades will come out.
They've got to be careful. Kramer's just the other side of this rock. As soon as he peeks out, he'll have an open shot on them. The nade just goes past Vox. He gets very lucky with that one. Kramer took a couple of bullets to the chest as well, so Rogue realized that's a little too tight for close for comfort there, so they're going to try and rotate away from it. But where can they go? They can't go to the left. They have to try and take this fight.
Yeah, there is no real option for them, as we see here. DC picking away, actually helping out the Knights from long distance.
Wow. Yannick's the only man standing for Rogue. He's been picked apart. Knights are actually now pushing around. They're thinking maybe they can get hoover up some meds from that. But Digital Chaos are continuing to land these shots. They've got themselves in the circle. There is a little ditch, look, to the left of Avian. That could work well in their favor because it will give them just the cover they need. They've got to be careful, though. Look behind them. Here comes one. 4 members of one may blast in here. Larry's coming this direction. He's going to get forced away. Will get taken down. They're trying to set up a vehicle compound. They're one of the only squads that have working vehicles in this area, and it doesn't look like it's going to work. Raz, don't know where he's going to, but he's going to basically no man's land. Exalt, keep on peeking, keep on shooting.
Yeah, it looks like Exalt has actually taken a bit of damage here. So that's Udyr and I think the other Shack are the only guys left standing. Maybe Cup of Magic still up as well. Maybe that was only one casualty, but the pressure continues. Neil's shooting down onto them. So now that's 2 down for Exalt, having to do their best to defend. This is going to get more difficult. The Knights still staying active on the edge of the play zone as well. Razmiki holding that nice little ledge. He has a good line of sight on one Shack, but now this is going to be all about Neil's pressing on to the rest of Exalt.
Has he got any nades? Has he got any nades? You get one, he gets crawling down, he's going to try and push for it. Will come around the corner. Not quite going to work out for him. He will go down. Didn't finish off Chronix either. The Knights will lose one on the side there. He's only been knocked there. It was Yannick that was actually taking the shots, but Yannick has been dealt with, so Rogue go down. And now Digital Chaos, they've got this overhead ground, but they've got to be careful. Look, you can see them, the Knights, they're just creeping up the hill while Avian holds the angle onto Vox here. He is completely exposed. So if they manage to get around the side and push up, they will flank right on towards them. They can't expose themselves too much because then Exalt will see them.
Yeah, so DC's decided to run straight after them to try and cut off the angle, but the Knights have taken that position. The Knights are exposed on the right-hand side, but Krema, and it's only Drayden down, I believe. So now DC exposing themselves to the rest of the play zone in order to try and get rid of the Knights. Breaks go actually still staying active as well, so Exalt not out of this thing yet. They're doing as much as they can to prevent any other pressure on their Shack, and it's going well so far, as Mickey taking a little bit low by that nade. Very close by.
Yeah, he managed to get, I think it was Udyr down. Yeah, Udyr on the distance. So Udyr's down. So Exalt down to 2. Digital Chaos have the circle. Knights down to 2. Raz from 1 still in there. And Exalt with the 2. Brexico and Cup of Magic. But they've got a really tough run now because they're in the Shack. Now, the problem is for Knights, their backs are exposed. The second that Exalt come out of that Shack, they're exposed. Raz also might have an angle on Vox here, but he will only shoot when he absolutely needs to because he's the last man standing for his team. Udyr does go down. It's Digital Chaos to pick that up. They have the high ground. Now, is it going to offer them any cover from Exalt? I'm not too sure. They're trying to go for the smoke wall. And it's just an open territory, really.
Yeah, they have to juke. They do. Actually, they have some trees.
They have a tree. Yeah. They're both 2 trees. In fact, they're prime positioned in Chicago.
Yeah, so they just have to kind of wait. The utility has come out now. Razmiki is sitting down there waiting for the inevitable push. He could play spoiler, as could Voxic. Go for Exalt. This is really looking like a DC victory. I mean, if they can maintain this vision without getting downed. And you can see here, Breaksco making the run for it. Awian, it will down him. So this is looking really good all of a sudden for Digital Chaos. Breaksco has gone down. The Knights are eliminated. And now this is going to be, wow, sorry, that's my mistake. That was Voxic eliminating Krema. So
Cup of Magic in the smoke. It's going to be the last man for Exalt. He goes down. It's Knights versus DC. Knights only got the 7 kills overall. Just the one-man stand in box. Oh, he gets the knock. He takes it down to a 1-on-1 versus Fausto. He lines up the shots. Fausto will take it. And Fausto with DC comes out on top. Only the 4 kills for Fausto overall. What else did they get? They got 10 kills total, so not bad for Digital Chaos. We were talking about how they needed a result. They've been struggling. Didn't have a great finish in game 1, despite having a decent position on the beachhead. Didn't really work out for them. The Knights themselves also, coming down, pushing through Vitality and collecting as many kills as they can, getting that 2nd place. Well played for them.
I didn't realize that Knights still had a 2nd player up there, and that was a nice position from them, kind of holding that open field. Not a lot of options in that area of the map. So for the Knights, having pressed all the way down there, maintaining 4 strong right up until the very end, they did very well. And really Exalt, a nice showing from them, holding those 2 Shacks. The split hold was really nice, allowing them to basically maintain as best to cover they could in that area. And Niels and his squad did all right as well. And Rogue sneaking in there in 5th place. So overall, a nice game. And really, I mean, the story here is FaZe 10th place, 1 kill. Had a tough last game as well. So not something we've normally seen from them.
Yeah, and in terms of points, there's probably Rogue are the only ones that are pushing TSM for the points. They got themselves in 5th place, only 4 kills. So they've still got a lot of chasing to catch on TSM, who lead the table in Lobby 1 so far after their first great 2 games. Guys, that is game 3 done. Game 4 will be coming up after the break. Join us then for more PUBG action.